Paul's here.
In the house? How did he get here?
I don't know. He doesn't remember. Citron said that there was something outside. I happened to be downstairs. I was eating breakfast, and so I grabbed my things. I went to go investigate, and he was right outside.
I'm gonna rush to get dressed, and then just
go
like,
down in my nightgown.
Yeah,
don't care. Noggin. No, just kidding.
I'm just gonna not armor or anything. Just like put something on. I don't care what.
I'll just grab some shit out of mine, just like throw it
on.
Zoom waits. Oh! Starting, you guys.
Look what you did.
I remember what you said. I remember every bit of it.
You love it.
You guys grab up all of your various belongings, all of your things, and after getting dressed, hurriedly go downstairs. Zoom waits for you and essentially tries to lead the way, although you guys are slightly faster, more live than he is. Slightly, though. You half skip, half tumble your feet down the stairs, and there in the main centered dining hall, you see Paul sitting there, currently eating breakfast quietly, dazed look on his face. And something else that you notice is wrapped around his shoulders is a very familiar looking cloak.
No! No! I want my dagger!
He's gonna have it.
I don't want him to have it. It's my property.
Madison says something. Sophia attacks me. It's funny. I'm gonna like come around the corner and just do like that thing where you can pause around the corner in your hair, like she's like.
Raymond is sitting there with him. He's like, look at what we found on our doorstep this morning.
I'm gonna like rush over. I'm gonna. Does he have any wounds? Like, is he okay? Is he injured?
I'm making an investigation check.
Damn it! That was so good, but it fell outside the damn thing.
It's okay. Are you all right?
8.
I'm as you look him over. He's got it wrapped around his shoulders. He's currently eating what looks like some kind of like cream of wheat. And you can see there's like brown sugar and cinnamon and a bunch of other stuff. It's more of the latter than the former. He's a kid. He's a kid at heart. Seems to be in one piece. Seems a little bit disheveled, confused. It's like, yes, I'm all right. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I reaches up and you can see that there is like a knot on his head.
What was the last thing you remember?
There were explosions. There was just this massive sound, and then everything was going dark. And I tried to run, and then there was smoke. And that's all I remember. I remember running upstairs. Tried to go to my spot. Don't remember.
So literally, Nasty fucking saved him because of shit.
I'm gonna insight check him to make
sure
sure
go
he's
ahead.
not holding anything back. Sorry, Paul. Doesn't matter.
14.
9.
14.
Oh, little Paul. I believe everything.
And Talavin, it's not that he's holding back, he genuinely seems confused. He's trying to piece it together. You can see the way his eyes dart up and look at you, that like he recognizes you, obviously. It is him, but there are elements that he's not sure about. Like he might know more, he might think he knows more, but he's hesitant to say it in case he's wrong.
I'm gonna like kneel down next to him. I'm just gonna be like, don't think about it too much, okay? Let it come to you naturally.
It was cold. It was hot and it was cold. He touches the jacket and he's like, there was someone, that guy.
It's okay. Whatever comes naturally to you.
I don't remember. He reaches into the pocket of the thing that is draped over his shoulders, and he pulls out a note, as well as your dagger. I woke up and I found this, and that's when he came out. Zoom.
I will take the note and the dagger and open it. What does it say?
You open up the note, and in very precise, calculating handwriting, it says, "Take care of your collateral."
Oh, wow, that's a diss. Burn on us. Fuck him.
as well as wait in the next town.
God damn it. He probably knew we were going straight up that way.
Didn't we tell him?
No, I didn't talk to him.
Wait in the next town.
Make another investigation check, Talavin.
12.
Okay, good to know.
I wanted to see if my other dice would do better, and it did. It did much better. Fucking shit. I keep the note. I slip it into my pocket to inspect later. And I put my necklace back on.
Put it back on.
We need to get Paul back to his parents.
What if it's dangerous for him to be there? We can't we can take him back.
I don't know. Are my parents going to be okay?
Yes.
I don't know why
they
would be.
Probably.
Charisma check.
Shit. I was gonna explain myself. That's a 2. So that's a 8.
I got a 22.
Nora, you haven't really said anything. Talavin seems to be the one helming this, so.
I was thinking.
Talavin, you say this yeah, they're fine, and there's just this moment where he realizes all of a sudden that if he had kind of kept to his own, he might not be in this situation. Now he doesn't know what happened to his parents.
Okay, I'm gonna retract a little bit. I'm just gonna be like, for all they know, you had nothing to do with this. You didn't have anything to do with this. They don't know. Technically, they don't know if you're even. Well, this is gonna sound terrible. The people that we were after, they probably think that you were in that house when it burned. So, they probably think that you're dead. So, they won't harm your parents because they wouldn't know anything at all. They would know even less than you know, which is nothing.
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh, God. Oh. That's a natural 17.
Oh,
yes. Persuasion is 23.
23. He wipes his eyes on the sleeve of this thing that is just smothering his form.
I'll wipe his eyes for him with the end of the cloak.
I just want to give him a hug. This poor little baby. How old is this boy?
He's
like 12, 13.
He's like 12, 13.
I'm not going to give him a hug. They're usually stinky little things.
I'm not stinky.
But they'll pat his eyes a little bit and like ruffle his hair a little bit. And I will. Does this look like it probably hurts? A little knock on his head?
It looks like a pretty good wallop.
Okay, I will healing hands. what level character am I? 5? We level 5 characters? I will do, just a couple to make it maybe let it de-swell. So I'll say 3.
You press your hand against it. He winces instinctually. Swelling does go down, but there's still that knot, that nice goose egg under his skin.
Okay, seeing that, I'll just run my hand over again. I'll give the last 2. So all 5 of my healing hands. That's all.
Decreases, but still present.
Okay.
Deal with your collaterals.
This motherfucker, stupid ass little
Don't
shit.
want to wait in the next town.
I'm gonna wait in the next town for you, you fucking
Yeah.
arrogant
Glacier
asshole.
face.
Motherfucker. Think you can tell me what to do? I'm independent. Do what I want.
Okay. Okay, so how in the world did he find us?
I mean, he's probably got hells of magics. I mean, what is he? But he's a rogue. He don't really got hells of magic. That means somebody's helping him that is super fucking strong.
I don't know. But either way, I suppose he is an ally after all in our predicament, and we were headed north either way, weren't we?
Yeah. Guess we can go to Bright White. Bright White. Brackle White.
Is everyone else awake? Are they just sitting there
Everyone else is awake.
watching?
Jin and Talel are not there.
Oh, I figured. Oh, totally. I were like, totally, man.
Ooh. I think that's... Nope, I'm not gonna
This is
say
the first time that they've gotten a room to themselves in like a month. Okay, sorry.
You see, all the others are nearby. Just all. Well, those who are present, there are all 16 of them. You see Raven, and Citron, Wood, Robin, Avon, Ginkgo, among the others.
All the names. Do I see the one that I snatched off that dude's shoulder? Does she look okay?
She's looking in better spirits, but upon seeing you guys come down, there's this natural weariness. They're being friendly. They're not being hostile or keeping to themselves. They're willing to make conversation, but those who had been perched on shoulders seem to be slightly more apprehensive.
That's understandable.
If I can make eye contact with her, I'm just gonna kind of give her like a mouth, I'm sorry about grabbing you the other night. I'm mad.
It's all right. Thank you for saving me.
Yeah, we were just kind of in a rush and I couldn't leave you there.
But you didn't.
Good. That's nice. Is Citron there?
He is.
Okay. I'm gonna make eye contact with Talavin and then be like, Citron, we'd like to get your advice on something.
I'm currently sipping on some tea. He acknowledges and sets it down. Like, very well.
If you don't
Is this all right? He pushes himself back, gives a curt bow to the others, and flies over to you.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of go around the corner and like kind of out of earshot.
Kind of far off. What's on the first floor? Hold on.
It's just the stairs.
Yeah, there's only the kitchen,
stable.
ballroom, stable, storage. Okay, fuck.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, I just want to go around the corner just so that they can't hear us.
Yeah, far enough away. We're not gonna. If
I'm
we
not-
pull something out and somebody walks out, I can have time to
Yeah, it's fine. So, we're gonna go around the corner, and I'm gonna say, while Talavin was going through and collecting the last bit of their projects, she found some of their notes, and we've been investigating these notes to try to figure out or to glean any information of what they might have been trying to accomplish. Some of the notes and papers that we have found are rather disturbing. I didn't know if we should... I wanted to get your advice on whether or not to show it to everyone, because it is very disturbing.
The wounds are still very fresh in everyone's minds, and they, I believe, are still reeling. Less than 12 hours or so ago, less than a sunrise, we were in one situation, and now we find ourselves in a different one entirely. What kind of information is on these journals or pages?
I'll take out my notes that I wrote.
Okay.
And show him.
He flutters over to the fireplace mantle and lands as you set the book down.
Yeah.
He keeps it propped open, using one of his hands to keep it propped open as he stands on the book and scanning the pages. Are you looking for something in particular? Or just trying to glean whatever I can? He takes the page and forces it up.
Okay, just maybe anything. These are only my notes of what the actual book said. I can't read them. Only she can. I only took notes on what she was telling me was in the journals.
I see. These sigils are interesting.
If you recognize any of them, I'd love to take notes on any of them that you might recognize.
Did they ever do any experiments on you? Hesitantly asks.
Given that I am older than others, they tended to gravitate toward the younger. Those who had more vitality, although there were a few times where they took me aside. And he rolls up his sleeve. He shows that there are some what look like cut marks. These thin cut marks. Shows on the other, and they look like puncture wounds.
I see. I thought you might have fit one of the descriptions in the journal.
Where did you find these journals? Perhaps that would provide some insight for me.
Which room did I find it in? I thought it was one of the storage rooms.
It was one of the storage rooms in the back.
And I'll point, because I have a map of that in there as well, and I'll point to whichever one it was.
As he's looking through, it's like, I recognize some of these, but I see here, and he points to some of your notes. It's like, I see here you've already managed to identify some of them.
Just one, I think.
This here, and he goes down to one of the other symbols that was just mixed in with the pages, not one of the ones that was in the column, but a different sigil. It's like, this here is part of a canceling magic. And when someone's beginning to cast a spell, you can counter it. Cancel it out completely.
Like counterspell.
They took away their defense.
That's what this one seems like, but it's different. It's been altered. As he kneels, the book kind of closes on him, but he manages to keep it up as he's looking. I had to guess that's the closest I could come to as figuring out what it is. Any others that you want me to look at? I mean,
if you can,
you are correct. This is morbid.
If you recognize any of the sigils, the more sigils we can identify, it could help us.
Turns the next page. Keeps it up.
Do I need to help him? Like, if I, put my hand on it, I don't want to, spook him, but,
Insult his
You can make an insight check.
Yeah, don't disturb his sleep.
Oh, god damn it.
That's only a 14.
14. I mean, he's older. He might need help. It might go back to that sense of Spritian pride that maybe he'd appreciate it as a symbol of respect, saying, "Let me help you," or
I will.
go either way.
Yeah. Oh, fuck it. I will.
You could just point to his sigil as like you.
Yeah, I'll as far away from him as possible. So I don't want like my hand to be like up in his grill, but just like maybe like around the back, like kind of hold it up a little bit. Just so that he's not like holding it up, and then if he needs a page turned, I'll just like flip it for him.
Okay.
Roll for offended.
How offended is he? Natural 20. He strikes me down.
Sunburst. Bah!
That sounds really terrible.
As he's backing up, and you don't expect it in that moment, as you reach up and try and push one of the pages along this journal, which is kind of closing in on him slightly. You don't expect him to back up as he's reading. He backs up several steps and accidentally bumps into your hand. Instinctually, you see this arcane spark in his hand. Right.
It's okay.
Definitely almost that look out of me.
Finishes reading. Says, some of these seem similar, but they're different. Everyone's form of handwriting is slightly different. The things that you can tell about an individual from the scratchings of a quill on parchment. However they're writing this, it's just similar enough, but it's different. I cannot place how.
You mean like it's like almost like a signature, or that they're trying to physically change the sigil?
Either could be a possibility. I don't know. This right here is another form of countering. This one's detection. He points to one of the ones on the page that you're holding up. This one is a form of detection, and this is a form of cancellation. This is fundamental.
Fundamental. What does that entail?
Fundamental. It's basic. Basic form of spell. Maybe this was some kind of precautionary measure. You have actual pieces of parchment where you say this was located?
We do.
Some of them, yes.
He straightens himself up, readjusts his shirt.
Is he looking at the pages of the sigils I wrote from the columns, or is he looking at the ones from the tools?
From the various tools.
The ones you're looking at aren't from the other notebook.
I see. At any given rate, I'm sorry I cannot be of more use.
You wouldn't happen to have any books that might show different sigils that we could compare these to, would you?
Could possibly have a few. I'll make sure that they're laid out in the library for you.
That would be much appreciated.
He steps off the journal.
I will take it back. What other things did we? There were. Oof. Did you see most of the others that were confined in the mansion? Like if we were to give you a certain description, would you maybe be able to tell me if they were among you all the night we got you all out?
Perhaps. Sometimes details are hard to identify
Yeah.
in the darkness, but I can do my best.
There were descriptions and different check marks and different anagram type, I don't know, things in one of the notebooks.
Yeah.
And there were 2 descriptions that had a different... Is that right? An anagram?
They differed from
the others.
The others. There were only 2. And so I'm gonna get the book out.
If you want to, okay.
I'm gonna get in your bag of holding and just be like, I'm gonna point them out. Be like, prepare yourself. I open it to the. Well, no, it's the loose.
It was one of the. It was in the very front. It was
Yeah,
actually still
okay.
in the binder.
I have that, and I open up to the pages that because the 2 were back to back, so the 2 that had this. Yes, so I'm gonna lay it down, and just like, I imagine it's gonna try to fold, so I'm just gonna keep it pinned with the hand, and I'm gonna pin it with the identifying finger. I'm gonna point, and keep it pinned open. Yeah.
Steps onto the page, walks up, looks. I'm sorry, I don't.
That's alright.
You said that the ones at the end, you said were similar to the ones that you saved in the end that were on the spike. The descriptions at the very end.
Yeah, but they got away.
Yeah, I know, but about how far up are those names?
Those names were fresh.
Yeah, but like how far away upwards are the names that are different?
They're about in the middle.
Which is about how many? Because there was like how many sprites did we save were in that mansion?
Well, we said there's
Probably around like 300 or so, probably.
So about how? So is it like exactly like a halfway point? These 2 descriptions.
It's closer to the end, but it's still like mixed in the middle.
These are sprites that probably are dead. Like
Well, yeah, but
the ones that are there, their names. It's more like what's a morgue something, a death list.
I wish we could have found their
They probably
bodies.
just throw them away. Ah, okay. All right, so I'll just be like, all right, and I'll take the book. He's not like, I'll wait till he walks off of it. Like, no.
He does.
Okay. Going to close it, put it back in the bag. All right. We plan to continue trying to find the people who are doing things like this and putting a stop to them. We just have to figure out exactly where and how to do such a thing.
Would be most appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Which does bring about the other matter. Have you had a moment to consider? This is something that I believe we should discuss with everyone, but
I agree.
you could spare my heart.
Spare your heart. Oof.
Oof.
We did converse last night and came to our own relative agreement, depending on what you were proposing.
Who did?
They did.
We did. Collectively, we had a discussion last night.
Oh, alright. Alright, should we rejoin?
I would like to hear that, honestly.
Very well. See, flies back. And you can see that, well, whenever you round the corner, make a perception check.
Perception! Come on,
That's
come
good,
on.
that's good,
Ooh,
that's
ooh,
good, that's
18.
Good. That is 21.
what you guys notice as soon as you all round the corner, as Citron flies back, you guys round the corner, you do see that there's almost this visual exhale, as if they're making sure that he was coming back.
Damn, they really don't trust us. What is this?
We're just risked our lives to say that.
Damn.
I just.
I don't show any. I don't even know. Didn't even notice. Fucking A. God damn it.
From a handful. Forgive the term. Particularly the ones who were affixed.
The ones we haven't bonded with yet.
We haven't bonded with them. They don't know us yet.
It's not okay.
Has Talel and Jin joined us yet?
They have, actually. And you notice that Talel's hair's a little shorter.
Oh. It's a little short.
He still has the small the back of his hair, which is tipped in white. That's still about the same length, but the top has been slightly sheared down. Not a lot, but it was beginning to become a little bit shaggy on the top of his head.
Do they look ruffled together?
Yeah,
Just the two of them,
of
generally?
course they do.
No, they look very well put together.
Oh, they put a little extra because they didn't want us to know. But we
Not
all
my
knew. We
business.
fucking all knew.
I don't need to know. Okay.
Is Jin literally glowing? Because I assume she's glowing. She's always glowing.
I don't.
She always has this little bit of shimmer to it.
No, I don't notice.
I noticed.
The natural one.
This is the most natural ones we've had.
I haven't had this many natural ones ever.
No, there was that other one that you just could not roll above a 5. It was an entire session where both of you just 4, 4, 3, 4. No.
You mean every time I've ever tried to see Malik in his human form?
You succeeded last time.
Maybe.
The last time.
The last time.
It'll be the last time. What?
As Citron arrives, you see some of them, give that little bit of reprieve, making sure that everything's still okay. He comes and he's like, they just had a few questions about some of the things that we may or may not have seen. Actually, if any of you feel up to it, perhaps you might have better knowledge. I was only taken back once. If any of you have any additional knowledge of various note-takings and are willing to see what it is that they've uncovered among the scraps of evidence. But let us get down to more official business. As you know, some of us do want to leave. Some of us would prefer to go back to our homes. We do also recognize that we are the only remaining. He's addressing all of you at this point. Raymond is also there and sitting at the table, but he's addressing all of you.
Is Paul still there?
Paul is still sitting there, but he's right now focused on the warm meal in front of him as he keeps trying to remember. Seems just still a little bit out of it.
Yeah, I don't have anything that could cover his ears, but I guess it is what it is.
He's 13.
We're not sure what it is that you decided on. If you care to enlighten us, that would be most agreeable, or we can tell you the arrangement that we've come to.
I would like to hear your all's thoughts first, if you're alright with that.
He looks and the others give this affirmation, this nod. And you see some of them make a perception check.
I just rolled in sync. 13.
Okay.
25.
25. Talavin, you pick up on this a little bit more than Nora, but Nora, you notice it too. Some of them, whenever they all give a nod, a couple of them, their heads tilt down. You see Cypress, Talavin, only you notice this, you see Cypress clutching just the mug that she's currently drinking out of. Citron continues. We are eternally grateful for everything that you have done for us. And you have expressed that you do not wish to keep us against our will. That being said, recognize that there is a debt that must be paid, and regardless of our personal feelings on the matter, realize that we are the only 18 remaining of the others that we managed to save. If we were to have left last night, that would be a disservice and potentially dishonor on the remainder, or at least for our various households and our names. Our relative compromise is we called for volunteers to stay. Those who would help cover and enact whatever it is that, whatever it is you have necessarily planned, or allow us to aid on your various journeys. He looks over now to the others, and he said, Wood, Raven, and myself have elected, should you choose to stay, unless there is someone else who you would prefer to remain.
You said Wood, Raven, and Citron were the volunteers?
They're the volunteers.
Volunteers, or like they were volunteered via the group?
They were volunteers.
He says volunteers.
So it's not like short straws. This is them being noble.
He says volunteers.
Inside check on volunteers.
Sure, go ahead and insight check.
Volunteers
Fucking
versus
shit.
volunteered.
Did you roll?
Only an 11.
11? That's actually a reroll.
Damn! Fucking God. Oh, that's good. Oh. You said it was a insight. Yeah, an insight. That is a tainted 20. What the fuck? God damn it.
Okay. Nora is going.
It is what it is.
He's hard to read, and based on how he says it and based on their reaction, it seems like he's not being deceptive. You get the feeling that he's, probably being honest.
Okay.
Wood was the one that we saved from that super dumb lady.
Yeah.
Bro, we fucking schooled that bitch.
Just saying.
Awesome. Okay.
Fucking
Nora
took her
is
money
going
and her
to.
Sprite.
She's going to breathe. All right.
Patron looks and he says, we understand that you obviously do not feel comfortable with asking anybody to stay, which is why we had a discussion and called for volunteers. We don't know how much you are aware of our various heritage. We understand that we share similar ancestry. That being the case, our culture, our heritage, our houses and our pride call for us to do such things.
I understand. I thank you. I thank all the volunteers who have graciously stepped up on behalf of your people. May I add something to this agreement? Okay. He nods.
As the two, the Wood and Raven both kind of look at each other nervously, like, okay, well, what are they adding? While Citron is just taking it,
Okay.
expression neutral, ready to accept whatever it is.
Okay. Can I propose that we add that this is not indefinite? Can we add a time frame or some sort of Dieter some time frame, as I do not want to keep you all indefinitely, and I'm sure you all will be of great help to us in the near future.
Make a persuasion roll.
I was gonna say something, but I couldn't form it in like a correct sentence.
Because I don't want it to be indefinite. Okay, fine.
God damn it. Fuck.
Was it persuasion? Persuasion 6.
Yikes.
It was so close to a 20. Okay. I don't want to offend them.
I want to kind of step up and say something actually that, as I see her kind of, I'm just going to be like, I think our current mission, Nora and I and Zoom staying with us, is to... What? Oh yeah, and Will Talavin Jin, but besides the point. Our current mission is to free your people and figure out who's doing this and why they're doing this and to stop them. And I think just aiding us in this endeavor, any help that you all give us is with you all. If you all stay with us, I feel like that would be the volunteers. I meant like the volunteers, the ones that stay with us. Sorry. The ones that stay with us, helping us, would, I feel, serve a purpose of repaying that debt.
Because I'm not seeing, we're not all super strong by myself. So, like...
Don't want to offend your pride, but I don't
I'm not super strong by myself, but there is strength in numbers, so... Yikes. I don't know how to put words into sentences that make sense.
What's the reaction?
Yeah, what's the reaction
did they do?
The bullshit that just came out of my mouth since it was just fumbling fucking words.
They seem... You can roll an insight check.
Oh, that's good, though. That's good, though. That's
25.
18.
Okay. You get the general sense that there's a natural frustration with their own customs, that they feel obligated to do this, and that despite everything that you all are saying, they're like, no, this is something that has to be done. And given this particular circumstance where you're saying, oh, like these, like you all are aiding like these other people, Cypress, Talal's older sister, you just see.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
He just kind of gives you guys this look, and it's like, so what? We're going to be gallivanting around from place to place, and gathering up all of these different sprites, letting us go home, and simultaneously gathering up all of these other life debts. It's essentially what's going on.
Oh, God.
Unintentionally, that's what's going on.
I don't know how to save you all without doing this. I mean, if you all help us, it can be seen as you all helping and we're just aiding. That's not my intention, is going around gathering life debts. That's not what my goal in life is. I just want to help people.
That's all I want to do, gosh darn it!
Who's going to serve me best? I don't know which one to use. Oh, that's good. Persuasion. 23. Oh, yes. Fuck you, new dice.
Yeah.
She stares at you and is like, all right, so that's not necessarily your intention, but whether or not
she thinks that's my
that is something that is actually going on.
And
What happens at the end of all of this? Exchange it for some kind of favor? Have one of us travel along, like have them travel along. They also have families. They also have people in Citron at that point kind of raises his hand to Cypress, and she just kind of gives him this look, but respects his position, quiets herself. He's like, "We had this discussion. I understand what it implies, which is why volunteers were called for. Admittedly, staying will aid you. It will also bring about, as Cypress has mentioned, potential other debts. Others will feel obligated. Grateful, yes. And willing to help, yes."
Perhaps we can find a way to inadvertently aid and help them help themselves. But it depends on the situation. We will keep
Cypress chimes in again. Like, that's just the point. If you... Arguably, we are some of the most powerful that we have here with us now, correct? She looks over at the other 8, and they kind of shrug, and they're like, "We did get captured." And she's like, "That's not the point, and they cheated, and we know it." It's like when you set ambushes and traps that instantly dispel everything that you could possibly work on, anything that you could possibly do, that's fighting dirty. She looks back to you guys and is like, "Is there a better way to go about this entire deal? If we are able to go and warn others, if we're able to go with Citron's ability, he's able to teleport us to different villages that he's familiar with. He can take us there physically, and we can warn these people. We can let them know." And Citron again just is like, "Regardless, we still have a debt to pay."
The last time we went to a Sprite village, it did not end well for a lot of us. But I think that would be very helpful for you all. And that would prevent further capturing, which would prevent us from having to accrue more debt.
Cypress straightens up a little bit, like almost in a moment of recognition of like, "Thank you." She didn't say anything, but she kind of gives this curt nod of like, "Yeah, like I told you, Citron." But like, and the question then becomes, I'm sorry.
If you have that capability and none of the others do, that should be what you do. I won't go to another Sprite village uninvited, ever. Because that was disastrous for, the Sprites that we were with. Hillel literally got scolded out in front of the whole council.
It went pretty well, I think,
Considering I almost died. Yes.
That was your fault.
That was not my fault!
Yes, we do say this.
Yes, we're literally bickering between ourselves.
They're watching Jin. Jin has this thoughtful smile on her face, and Talal seems more contemplative.
Like, literally, Talal almost died too. Do you not remember that whole thing that happened?
That was a custom thing. That wasn't...
Okay, well, all I'm saying is that we shouldn't just show up at a Sprite village again and get more people in trouble. Because they're ready to people for it. If you have the capability of finding and going to other Sprite villages, if there are villages out there that haven't been warned and they don't know what's going on, they need to know. And whether or not the village that we were at and the people that we talked to, whether or not they were convinced or not, or they warned other villages, I don't know how limited or unlimited their resources are to get to the other villages and warn them. But it would be best, the more preparation, the more prepared you are for attacks like this, the better. And maybe there are villages out there that have been attacked that more have gotten away or have defeated whoever is doing this. That knowledge alone could help us.
Mm-hmm. Proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah. Just having you all with us is one option, but what if we were able to communicate with each other and we were working on different sides of it? You all working with your people and gaining whatever knowledge you can, while we're in our, larger world, whatever, going to town and finding these other places that I know of, in doing it a different way. It'd be better for us to work separately and in tune together than just all of us lumped together as one.
Tolo, you can see just out of with both of your all's passive perception, you can just see the smile curve onto his lips.
Feels almost as good as Malik. Almost, not as good, but almost.
As he looks up at you and he's like, I was about to propose that exact scenario.
Well, I guess you're rubbing off on me then.
Huh. Hardly. His arms fold and he's like, Citron, that does bring up a very interesting point. That way you will be able to go back home. That way you'll be able to see your loved ones. And the way that you repay this debt, the way that you help this particular debt is you find a way to report back and you actively pursue things on your end, discovering information. All three of you. All of us, really, but... Others take that moment and you can see that there's this relieved nod of like, wow, that...
Thank God.
That's much better.
Hey, look, it was my idea first.
Cypress?
Well, yeah, I guess it was kind of her idea. But I chugged it along.
Slow working. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
New method of recording.
Yeah.
We have the IT specialist right
I know,
here.
I am the least tech-savvy person, and somehow I end up in charge of all of this. Anyway.
At least on her end, yes.
Technology in
I don't know,
medieval
what
town.
is this?
What is that? I don't understand.
It is the Matrix. That's what it is. Both of you take a drink simultaneously. Citron, you can see... That seems to work out fairly well. The question becomes, how do we... I suppose we can find a way to teleport to you. At the very least, communicate with you.
I don't have anything.
I know that in one of the villages we went to, there was a sigil that had a particular location that you could teleport between. Is there any way we could replicate that and put it on a mobile piece of something? Either that, or we could try to... I could try to enchant an item.
It would just take you some time.
Yeah, it would just take time, though. Or if one of you has an ability.
Yeah, I don't get sending till like 3rd level.
That allows us to communicate.
They all nod and they're like, well, and some of them say, oh, like, I do have this ability. Some of them shake their heads and they're like, no, I'm more of a fighter.
So
And
question.
looks in his...
I gotta be a 5th level for that.
So with message, it says
Mhm.
it's 100.
Ranged.
It's ranged. But like, if I cast it enough times, could it work?
Sending
Message.
or
Sending,
or
you could.
message?
Yeah, I don't get sending though until I'm like a 5th level cleric. Yeah, because it's a 3rd level spell.
It's a 3rd level spell, eh? I could do sending.
Mm-hmm.
It would take me some time.
Yeah. Whoop. Oh. I don't get that till I'm a 5th level cleric. So yeah, I'm only like a 2nd level cleric.
It's fine.
I got a while.
Would that be in my book? Could I do sending?
You could do sending. You'd have
That's
to enchant
still
an
limited.
item.
It's limited to 25 words.
That's fine. We could do.
If only we had an amulet that sent unlimited fucking. God damn it! I'm an idiot.
It's not too late. I mean,
It's fucking too late, bro. Like, I'm not going back and seeing him.
we do have Citron who knows how to go between places quickly.
No, I don't want to see him again. Okay. No.
Yes. So I can do that. It would take me some time, and it is limited. So perhaps we can do the mobile transportation and and sending messages.
I mean, is there a way to have a sigil on like
That's
a
what I'm
piece of
asking.
wood?
I don't think that sounds unsafe, because wouldn't it work both ways?
That's why you.
I'm just saying, what if somebody got a hold of that?
Well,
That
then
shouldn't
they
have it.
should put it in a place where it's out of town or something. Is that possible, for one?
To have a moving teleportation circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Not even on, like, something that you carry.
Yeah.
No. No, in order for a sigil like that to become permanent, you must cast every single day for a year. In order for it to be in one particular location. Something like this would be monumental.
What about...
And based on your various timeline of events, it seems like that time is of the essence still.
What about... Can you... If you know... Like, if you have... Like, if you know a certain object... Because I know you can... Some people can locate people through objects. Could you... I don't know. Could you transport to... If you knew where we were, could you transport to that place?
Depends. I know of a few individuals, Aragon being one of them.
Bro, he's badass.
And so smiles at Raven, saying, Tarragon is able to get people from one place to another rapidly, as long as he's familiar with the area. Very least, some kind of communication could be had. There are enough of us to possibly stitch something together. And from that point, being able to make contact with you.
I mean, I feel like that would be good.
What about notebooks? Like writing?
Like a two-way notebook?
Yeah. I know that's a thing.
You mean like a Tom Riddle notebook? I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I know that's a thing in the universe. Is it the same? Because the ones
It
I've
is.
seen aren't limited to the
Right.
amount of words that you can send. But what
Mhm.
spell would that be?
Fuck if I know.
Intelligence check?
I can help.
Make an intelligence.
I will help with that.
15?
That's... I don't fucking know. Don't even matter. Intelligence is low as fuck.
You understand enchantment, and it seems that one particular sentence, generally speaking, is not more than 25 words. If you continue to cast it over and over and over again, you can formulate an entire paragraph.
Oh, so you could make it unlimited if I cast it enough?
Perhaps.
Okay. So I'm going to have to cast it on 2 items at once. So that way they're linked together, I think.
Like, if you cast it on a notebook,
Well,
are you going to cast sending on a notebook?
I could send it on a notebook.
And then we could just write out, because that'd be easier than saying 25 words. Say it.
And then they won't have to listen. Then multiple people could see it at once.
Precisely.
Wait a second, wait.
Alright,
You got animal messenger, bro?
Animal messengers
That kind of sounds
more
yeah.
specific.
Choose a tiny beast within range. Okay. Recipient who matches
Can
a
it be
generous
cast as a ritual?
It's a animal messenger's
no.
ritual.
Not animal. Sending?
No, sending is not a ritual.
Well, then I can't do it. Because they have to be... Oh, shoot! No, never mind. I was thinking of the Book of Ancient Secrets. Never mind. Okay. Alright, then I guess I should get started.
I can't help you on that. I don't have that.
Would you...
I don't know it yet.
Yeah, would you all be willing to stay until I can finish? Or perhaps we can give you a location of where we will be?
And we are going to. We are totally going to.
What?
We're waiting in that town for that
Yeah.
stupid.
We do have our next location. If you all wanted to return today and perhaps return for your item later.
I don't know if they should be just flying around in a town.
But they're going home.
Yeah, I know, but then how will we meet back up with them? I don't want to meet
We
them.
tell them where we're going to be. Like, right time, right place. We're
We could have
gonna
a check-in of sorts.
go- Yes.
That's all right. He looks to the others who are all nodding like, yeah, I like that idea.
Are we really that unpleasant?
I'm injured.
No, you can make an insight check.
No, I know what they want. No, I don't. I don't know what they want.
23.
10.
23. Talavin, by the look in their faces, they're just yearning for home.
Okay.
That they're willing to do what it takes. They're willing to stay. They're willing to help. But in that moment, they've been away for so long that they need a moment of reprieve.
Shit, I feel that. I know how that feels. Just don't know the feeling of returning. I guess I never will.
All right.
And with that
I did
added,
not say that out loud.
with that added element of they are willing to. It does seem like they're willing to return, and there's that spark of life. There's that fire of wanting to do something about all of this that's happening around them. But also that moment of when you've seen too much, when you are just emotionally raw, and you just need that. You just need a break. You just need that moment to step away from the situation and breathe. It seems like they're at that point. They just want that breath, that last fighting breath. But also with this proposition, and Nora, you would probably pick up on this, they seem more willing to be volunteers. You see some of them actually nodding as you're proposing sending messages, meeting up in different locations, almost like some kind of stealth ops.
Yes.
It definitely seems like the thought of being called up to help fight is more appealing than remaining
They're being pulled
for extended
away.
periods of time.
Yes.
Still possessing that responsibility, that debt, but being able to retreat and take a moment home before being summoned again to the front lines.
All right. I have some calculations I need to make, and I will need your preferred item that you would like me to enchant, as well as one of our items, like a notebook.
Okay. I have lots of notebooks.
Okay. Can I have one of them?
Yep, here you go.
Okay.
It's a nice journal. Citron. I'll be sure to get one to you. I don't have one with me at the moment.
Alright. So, how many times am I gonna have to enchant this thing? How long is this gonna take?
Is there any... I can't help her at all because I don't have that spell yet.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry,
we
bro.
have- It's alright. We're good. My character's gonna be MIA for a while.
Yikes.
In order to make it limit unlimited. Okay.
It's a third level spell.
Yep. It's gonna take a lot. Oh, hang on. Is it the same for each first, second, third?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a third level incantation.
I wrote down...
Roughly speaking, it would. It's mostly based on whether it's common or uncommon. This right here would be uncommon, so it would be about the same as doing a bag of holding, essentially. It would probably.
Okay. So it's 48-hour sessions.
48?
But I have my hand
No,
things.
that's your bag of holding.
Oh, I thought that's what he said.
Your bag of holding requires 2 separate enchantments.
Yeah, your bag of holding is 2.
Okay,
But technically,
so
wouldn't this be 2 separate? Because it's 2 separate items that she's enchanting to work between the two. Basically, she wants to basically turn them into our little amulet thingies, right?
Yeah. Or like
Essentially.
Jasper.
I know, but we need to be able to use it to where we can write paragraphs to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably take you a month.
Can you say that in sessions?
Because you said it was 48 8-hour sessions.
Mm-hmm. But I have.
It would probably be 30 to 35 8-hour sessions.
And then with her hand thingies?
It was 5.5 hours.
Are you going to make me do math?
Well, it's 5.5 hour sessions, so I can do the math. I just needed to know how many sessions so I can add up all the numbers and stuff.
So
It'd probably be, and based on this, you probably would want to go the full 48-hour sessions.
Okay.
Just to make sure, because what you're trying to do is you're creating one book and tethering it to another enchantment. So it's the same enchantment, but you're tethering them to each other. Oh, you could make no, it would have to be 2 separate ones. Yeah.
Wait, 2 separate ones?
No, like it. The thought that went into my head was, if you just take a page out of the one, then you could technically write, but that's not how the enchantment works. So it would be 48-hour sessions.
even with your...
Okay.
That's not counting your bracers. That's not counting your gloves of enchantment.
Yes. 48 hour sessions.
And then what? How much help does your enchantment thingies have?
It turns 8 hours into 5.5. So
could
instead
you
of
double up sessions? So you could do like 20, 10, you could do like 20, 11-hour sessions?
I could do 3 a day, basically, without taking a point of exhaustion.
Oh, so it wouldn't
Because
be
it would
40
be,
days though.
It would be 16 and a half hours per day.
So you, okay, 5, 10, 15.
And out of 40.
So then you could do 3 sessions a day.
So it would take me,
It'd be like
10,
10 it'd be
11,
like
12, 13 and a half days.
So like 2 weeks.
Okay, that's not. We could stay in one town for 2 weeks and not destroy something, right?
Sure. Okay, sure. Hopefully, that's a long time.
It is. I'm just going to have to stay in the room when you're going to have to do most of the investigating.
Yeah, fuck.
But you know what? It's worth it. We need to come up with a rendezvous point after you all get back. Nora's just mumbling to herself, figuring this out in the corner.
Yeah, they're all watching with fascination as you're talking about enchanting. They don't necessarily have a lot of enchanted items, as they themselves are naturally magical entities. And talking about enchanting something specifically for this covert mission almost has them intrigued, has them fascinated. There's this, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, we're actually strong too, you know.
I could ask, do any of you have sending? Have the spell sending?
One sec. Let me double check. Let me
Don't let it be Cypress.
Oh
Please
god.
I'm gonna have to work with this person if they're willing to stay.
She says she does not seem like she wants to stay with us. I don't think she likes us very much.
Oh, why is she laughing?
Oh, fucking shit, bro.
It's Cypress!
No!
Oh my god, it is. Please, God, no. I do not want to get struck with lightning every day for every word I say. I do that enough in my dreams. God, I have not been struck with lightning in a while. I feel like it's going to be really bad next time.
It'll be fine. Is it raining? I keep hear it's raining.
It's the computer fan.
Citron and ginkgo both say that they have, as well as two others also say that, you know, they possess it. One of the 8, or two of the 8.
So just 2 of them. So two of the super strong ones.
Two of the 8, citron and ginkgo.
So 3 of the 8 are
4
super.
total.
So 4.
4 total. Say that they have this ability.
Okay,
So that
Would
could really
you-
help you.
yeah,
You could get it done in less than time.
well, if you all would be willing just to contribute 1 session, that would significantly decrease my time.
They look. Make a persuasion roll.
Oof.
Given the circumstances, roll with advantage. You guys did just help propose a.
What is that?
That's an 11.
Man.
15.
Okay. They look and they're like, or Ginkgo's pipes up and is like, I don't actually have that prepared at the moment, so we couldn't necessarily leave today. I could have it tomorrow.
He's adorable. I'm just saying.
Gives you a wink.
Oh!
The tips of my ears start burning.
Goodness gracious. So wait, he said none of them do, or just him? Don't have it prepared.
The others say that they don't have it today, as they weren't sure what was going on. Actually, Citron does have it today.
We could go to the next town
I was thinking that.
and let them go home. We can go to our next town.
And then maybe after we get settled, one of them at a time. I wouldn't want them all in one place. We could one at a time. They could meet you somewhere near or in town.
Well,
Whatever would be easiest for them
it's
and us.
it's all right. Like what she said. Well, I don't want to delay you all a day. Whenever you come back, if anyone who has the spell could help me, that would be appreciated.
So we don't know shit about this town, right? This town we're going to, whatever, Brackle White. God, I want to call it Bright White so bad. Bright White. So this Brackle what about Raymond? Does he know anything about that town? If I was to be like, do you know anything about Brackle White? Like if it's big, small.
I know it's a pretty big area. I mean, just about the same size as Carnham.
I mean, the only reason why we were going there originally was because it was
We have to go
part
there
of this.
because we're waiting. We have to wait for Glacier.
He also looks and he's like, and if you need somebody else who actually has sin instead of just them, I also have a little bit of ability in that regard. If you actually need it.
Of course. How come everybody has it but me?
Cindy?
Fucking shit.
I mean, technically, I don't have it either. It's fine. Yes, that would be appreciated. I think we're going to wait till we make it to the next town before I start.
So 2 people doing it, you could do how much?
It would
Then
just-
also sighs and says, I know it as well, for all confessing to what it is that we actually have.
Who says that? Vin?
Vin.
What a stink. He's such a stink. I love him.
Alright.
Next day, I hate him. I hate him so much.
I know. Ah!
Yeah.
He's not female, so I can't hate him. It's only the females that get to get under my skin.
Yeah.
But I kind of like Cypress. She got a strong personality.
It's alright. So how about we meet up in 2 weeks? We're going to go to the next town up. We can, if one of you has locate object, we can have you attune to it or something.
That only lasts for so long, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty sure
Raymond pipes in.
kind of does.
Pretty sure that's a radius thing. That you can only send something so far away from you.
What about, is there... How far... Does Raymond know how far away we are currently from Bracklewhite? Perchance.
We're about a week out.
Moles.
I mean, there are a couple like smaller stops along the way, but Bracklewhite's actually the city.
Because I was like, instead of meeting them, we could finish it, and then we could meet them like outside, like somewhere smaller.
Yeah, I would just be trying to find them.
Yeah.
Well, we could just pick a day, and then whenever that day comes, we'll go to the outskirts of Bracklewhite, and then someone can cast locate object, and we can find each other from there.
But I don't think.
If they're in the area, then it would work.
Okay.
Does that sound like it would work?
Citron also pipes up at this moment and says, if need be, I can continue to maintain this. You'd have to leave and come back, obviously. It only lasts for a day. But if there are things here that could potentially be of aid to you, for enchanting, I'm not exactly familiar with the process myself. But should you need a location, a space, I can maintain this.
But we have to go to the next town for Lesky.
Yeah, we have to travel. This enchantment doesn't move, does it? That would be nice. Okay.
Trying to solve the problem. I mean, because we could leave and then come all the way back. But
yeah, but that would take a
lot.
week.
That would then a week there. So wait, we have to take a week of travel. So that means we wouldn't see them for 3 weeks because it would take us a week to get there. You need 2 weeks to do the spell.
Mm-hmm. Citron, could you?
If we helped you with a spell, it would take less time, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it would take a lot less time. If we just did it here before we part ways, that would have us postponing for a few days.
How if all 5 of them helped you, how quickly could you get it done?
Oh man.
Technically 6.
What? But no, 4
Raymond.
and 5. I counted him 5. It was the 4 Sprites and
And
Raymond.
Vin?
Oh, and Vin.
And Vin.
Okay, Vin piped up in the end.
Okay, yeah, that would
Six.
actually.
I thought you were, yeah.
I forgot that he piped up at the end.
Okay, so if we had
I'm gonna ban me.
day 1,
My bad.
because I can do
It's alright.
3 sessions, and then Citron could help me on the first day, and Raymond could help me on the first day.
Or if you just split them all up.
Mm-hmm.
7. So I could get 7 done on the first day. Like, now. Yeah, because
Wait,
I can cast
Can they
it.
only cast it so many times, though?
They'd be able to do 2 8-hour sessions, so they'd be casting it for 16 hours. And that's the max you can do without, taking point of exhaustion, because you have to sleep. So, I can do 3 in a day, because, mine is only 5.5, so it will be 5.5 to 11, 16.5 hours. So I can do 3 in a day, and they can do 2. So then you have Citron, Raymond.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's
So you-
7 today.
So you're saying Ben?
Nora. Citron. Raymond.
Can you do? Ben said he has it too.
Did
Would
Vin
that be-
have it prepared?
He has it.
Oh, so that's 9 sessions today.
Can you do that many sessions without taking a point of exhaustion?
Well, it's different people, so yes.
No, I mean you.
Mhm.
So then how much time does that take off?
So that's 9 sessions. And then day 2, you would have the same 9 sessions, and then you could have... oh goodness,
You're just going to kill yourself for like 3 days straight, basically.
pretty much. So hang on, you said there were...
5 sprites, right? It was Citron, Ginkgo, Ben, and then 2 of the other powerful
2 of
ones.
the powerful ones.
And then
Mm-hmm.
Raymond. That was 6.
Yes.
6?
Yes.
6? Yeah.
So basically, we could do wait, and then I can do... Okay, so that's 12 sessions for them, and then I can do 12, 13, 14, 15 the second day. And pretty much day 3 would be 15 as well. So that's 30... Oh, that's a 3. Yeah. So that would be 39 sessions, which... And then I could just do the last one. Yeah. And I could do the last session on... and then that's... Because 30, 39... So basically we would need to delay...
But technically, you'd only do 3 days. They could leave. And then he said that this stays up for a day. And we could stay here for a day by ourselves and they could leave.
Yeah. So...
You said that this stays without you for a day? This
Sorry?
the mansion, do you have to be
It
here?
lasts 1 day, and technically I don't have to be in here, but at the end of the day, we would all have to leave, and I would recast it.
So what if all of you help her with this enchantment, it would, with all of you, it would take her 3 days.
You'll be
And then
able
on
to
the
leave,
4th day, she could do the last session by herself. If you all...
but they'd have to stay present, so that way...
Oh, yeah,
they
because
can
then we
get
could
the
just
book.
give it to him. Fuck.
I'll just take a point of exhaustion.
But that puts you at disadvantage. A point of exhaustion gives you
I know. But
disadvantage.
really, the ability check...
I mean, technically, this would only be a 5.5 hour session. It wouldn't be all day. They could still leave that day.
Okay. Can we ask you all to postpone your departure? Or at least the ones who have sending.
For 4 days?
While we finish.
Make a persuasion roll.
Ah!
Come on. With
You can't-
advantage, she's about to just...
I was technically, given the circumstances, it would be at advantage because you all are, based on the circumstances, based on your all's conversation. Yes.
Could either one of us roll?
She's the one who's been talking the most numbers, and you've been helping her, so it'd be for her.
Okay,
say,
so
my persuasion's pretty
persuasion.
high.
13. Okay, 13 plus persuasion is 17. Okay.
All right. Citron looks to the others and he says, I think I can personally agree to those terms. And the others nod. He's like, I will say that it'd be preferable if we could go ahead and send the ones who can, go ahead and send them home.
Agreed.
That way they can let everyone know that we are actually all right and that they have not lost a few more at the very end. I feel like I've delayed them already. But given the circumstances, there was no way around it.
Alright. So then, it's decided. And Nora's going to
she
take
needs
the
his
one
book
book. Yeah, and I
first,
need
too.
his book, so... Oh, yeah. It's like, as soon as you can get me your book, we can get started after they go away.
Well, and actually, as you say this, he walks over and you see one of the smaller spectral servants come up. He says, "Well, would you go fetch a few of the journals for me?" And vanishes. Precisely 3 minutes later, comes back carrying these that nice leather-bound tomes, which are perfect for his size, but a little bit small for your reading. And you take them, or he takes them from them and hands them to you.
Alright. So I just
Mm.
take the little book, and then I'll take Talavin's book, and I'll just... I guess I'll do it in the foyer.
I mean, just do it somewhere comfortable for you.
Yeah, well, I have to be on the ground, like, casting it, so...
Okay.
I'll just get out a piece of chalk, and I'll just start drawing the sigils on the ground.
I'm gonna go take a bath. No, I'm just kidding.
And he's like, that will most likely require components. There is a laboratory downstairs.
Yeah, I think sending does.
Place that might better aid you. Ginkgo stands up and stretches and is like, well, I go ahead and go to sleep. That means I can be ready in the morning. Or at least by tonight, if you so need.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind a little bit of extra sleep.
I think you need copper wire for sending.
Just FYI.
Alright. I'm going to go get the
In
cabal.
this message.
No, it says sending. That's why I thought it was weird. Because, yeah, I don't know what message, because I guess it's the same. Because message, a short piece of copper wire, and then sending, if I knew where the E was, it just says a short piece of copper wire as well.
Okay.
Oh, a short piece of fine copper wire
Fine. Mm-hmm.
instead of a copper wire.
Wood also pushes himself over and he's like, I actually also have this thing ready, so if I can go ahead and be of some kind of use, let me go ahead and do that.
Awesome.
Wood and Vin both accompany you down the stairs into the lower levels. As the others go ahead after shortly waking up and having breakfast, decide to go back to sleep, recover, and aid as soon as they rouse themselves in the morning.
I'm gonna go sit with Paul.
Alright.
He's kind of listened quietly this whole time, and he's like, I'm glad that they seem to be in better spirits now.
Well, they're all safe now. And they'll be able to go home.
Right.
Technically, this gives you enough time to go back to the town.
I don't
And
have
took 'em up
disguise self. I can't just walk up in that bitch.
Sprites that could do that.
Oh, they can disguise us. Okay. Oh, we can be invisible.
That would be dangerous, though.
Yeah, that'd be super dangerous. We could definitely die doing it.
Is Spice or no? That's asking way too much. Fuck. I'm gonna just to get his mind off things so that I can think about. How did he phrase it? Take care of my collateral. As I'm gonna think about that for a little while. I'm gonna take Paul to the barn with me. Because I was gonna go hang out with Warrior in that super dope arena.
He follows along. It doesn't take much persuading, as you also agree to let him take a bowl of cinnamon sugar with him, as that's been mixed in with brown sugar. So he has a bowl of this, and he is taking it with him. He wasn't going to part with it, and so you just let him take it anyway. You go into the stables, you go into the arena. Warriors, the moment you step foot in the barn, in the stable-like area, instantly the servants go over and begin saddling him and attaching all of his elements for you.
That's my job. My job. Okay, that's fine.
He trots out, smelling wonderful.
Oh, what a regal, handsome man. Oh, what a good boy.
This distinguished gentleman.
A distinguished gentleman. Yes. And we go into the
Lips
arena.
you.
Is he gonna kiss me?
Hop on. He gives you kisses.
I will give him kisses back.
His nose is nice, almost like, not that it's been polished, but it's some of the crusties that had gathered the night before from him running so hard has been tidied up. And you go into the arena. There's a place for Paul to sit, and he sits there and just keeps eating the sugar.
And I'm just going to pretend like I'm back at home again in my nice big arena, and I'm just going to do some super dope maneuvers with my super dope battle horse.
This massive arena actually has barrels and jumps. There are elements, almost like an obstacle course, where you can run up ramps, descend. Moments of darting.
All of the things.
Spend the vast majority of your time just reconnecting. It's been a while since you've just been able to ride in peace for fun.
I'm gonna, at the end, if Warrior's not too tired, I'm gonna see if Paul wants to go for a ride.
I'm useless enough.
Eyes wide, pupils slightly dilated by the sugar. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
That's a natural 19. Persuasion, that's a 25.
His mind is taken off immediately from his troubles as and it takes him a second. He tries to lift himself up onto Warrior, and you have to help him up. But his cares and his worries seem to vanish just for a few moments as you gallop around, letting him take the reins, showing him how to properly grip Warrior's sides with his knees, keeping his heels down,
making by himself for a few minutes too, because I know Warrior will behave.
Even though he's a warrior.
And he does. Because you promised him a sugar cube.
Because he's an angel, of course. Yes. Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Nora, you mark off after 8 or so hours, after Wood and Vin help you with the first casting, you can mark off the first 3 sessions.
Okay.
Out of your 40 sessions.
All right. Ding, ding, ding. Okay.
What's the 9 then?
Go ahead and roll. Your spellcasting is charisma, correct? Go ahead and roll for charisma, or go ahead and roll your proficiency.
Yeah, charisma.
Your enchanting proficiency.
Because it's proficiency plus spellcasting ability.
Yeah.
Plus my roll. Proficiency spellcasting ability. Yeah, that makes sense. Natural 17 plus
Nice.
24.
24. Wood and Vin have a little bit of a harder time as they're trying to maneuver and figure out how to best connect these books, but your hands naturally are going over the sigils correctly. Chalk. You intertwine the wire in between, almost like using it as a bookmark in between each individual page, each casting, each enchantment, each utterance of these arcane words. You insert another piece of fine copper wire in between the pages, and you see it glowing and dissolving into the pages themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Citron at some point comes down and says, I'm going to need to recast, so I wouldn't begin anything. As soon as they're finished, this place will be dispelled and we can regain ourselves.
We have to leave, and then he has to recast it.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Because that would have me miss out on like 2.5 hours, but that's fine. I'm gonna eat some breakfast while I wait for them to finish.
And you do. You leave for that duration of time. The spell is recast. You all say your goodbyes if there's anything you want to say to any of the ones who are leaving.
Take care.
I hope one day maybe we meet under better circumstances.
They all give a nod of acknowledgement and say, as a general collective, they say that, given the circumstances, consider themselves volunteered.
That's nice.
Before Arcane Sigil is on the ground. What?
Never mind, I forgot you. Never mind, you said something to me earlier, and then I was gonna, it's fine. Continue. My brain had, a momentary lapse in judgment.
Before recasting the manor, Citron once again draws on the ground that same arcane sigil, and everyone's able to run through.
I rather not.
Can you see through it? Can we see where he's... No, I'm not going to do that. That's weird. I'm not going to do that.
You can't see through. You can't see through. The way it works, it's kind of like the Bifrost, where there's just this beam, this energy light that just kind of vacuums them up.
The way you were describing it before, but I just wanted to... But then I was like, no, I'm not going to spy on them. That's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Just consider it
The ones who remain... this sigh of acknowledgement before the arcane manor is once again conjured. You all go back in, and this time everyone else has managed to get some rest and elect to come and help. It includes Ginkgo, Taggart, Lapis, Vin was helping you, and Wood was helping you. So they all 5 of them come and help. Raymond did not rest yet, so he is not able to help at the present.
So then that's 6.
6, yep.
And Citron does not have it ready, as he stayed awake during that time.
Okay, so that's 6, and then I'm just gonna keep casting because I'll lap them technically, because it only takes me 5.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then 5.5. Are they gonna cast it again that same day?
They are.
Okay, so then
right now this is essentially a marathon. At which point Citron does join because he is awake now.
We're just all whispering around this book.
All of you are. It feels very culty as your hands essentially consume the part of the front of the book itself, and they every once in a while you see them as they're muttering their different incantations, and all of you in sync are speaking these words. There are some moments where they glance up and they see your hands spark as their own hands are sparking. They realize, if that were directed at us, that would be not as great. If that was a different kind of spell. Go ahead and roll a skill check. Oh, much better.
Not after the fact.
14.
Yeah. For this next session, I'm going to cast guidance on everyone. Oh, wait, but it only lasts 10 minutes. 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Alright. With that, another session complete. move on to the next session. And you're starting to push. With this next one, you're going to have to take a rest.
Okay, but we get 6 more?
7.
You get...
Because Citron joined.
Yeah. Raymond and Citron both are able to join this time.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that puts us at 17 sessions. And then I guess we'll take a rest for the night.
You said one more session?
No, they get to add. You get to add another round of sessions to your counting.
Okay.
All right, so I added 8. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, one more skill check.
Okay, yeah, that's 22.
22.
And my DC is lower because of my hands. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another round is cast. But not before you guys. Once you take a rest, you do one more session, and the sigil has to be, or the manor once again has to be reforged.
I'm gonna say during this time that I'm just gonna hang out with Paul. We're gonna like spend our mornings in the stable. I'm just gonna give him writing lessons. Can he read and write?
He can read some.
I will be in the library the rest of the time, looking through all the healing, potion-y, anything I can get my hands on, magic sigils, all the magic sigil ones that he said he was going to lay out for me, trying to connect any, like, even if it looks only just a little bit similar, I write it down in my notebook, taking all the notes in the world. I'm filling up my journals.
That makes you so happy.
Yes, it does. Notes. Sketching out what I can, but I'm gonna like help him. I'm just like teach him to read and write if he doesn't really know how, and like maybe see if there's any like kid books around. I don't know.
Kid book.
She has a kid book.
I bought it for Zoom and never taught him how to read. You could teach Zoom how to read.
I will, if Zoom is interested, I will also help him as well.
He is interested.
Okay.
As you are helping Paul with some of his letters, you realize Zoom is... He's nearby and is listening in intently.
I will wave him over and tell him to join us.
Go ahead. I'm going to roll an intelligence check for both of them. Because you're helping.
Do I need to roll? Let's just say I don't need to roll. I don't. My intelligence.
You want to roll?
Why? My intelligence.
Well, I mean, my saving throw is nice.
She didn't say you had to roll.
I don't have to roll?
She didn't say you.
No.
She didn't tell you to roll.
Okay.
You know how to read and write.
I know how to read and write,
just
but it's whether or not
explain.
I can convey it to them in a manner that they, you know.
The kid's having a little bit of a hard time. Zoom, it seems to be puttering along, but it's the first day.
Yeah. I guess on the first day, I'll
the next-
focus
the next
specifically
day.
on the sigils.
Okay. Make another investigation check for me.
Can I get the advantages? He said he was going to set them out for me. I'm just kidding. It's fine.
It's fine.
The
No,
sigils?
no, it's fine. You said investigation. 18.
You're double checking between the books, and you do notice there are a lot of similarities between the different sigils and these the ones that are actually in the books. Even though you copy them, you take a moment and you actually retrieve the originals and lay them out, as you know everyone else is preoccupied. And as you open up one of the books, a piece of parchment falls out. It was previously tucked into the spine.
Is it the key
What is it?
to the symbols?
It's a list of names.
Oh no!
Do I recognize any of the names?
You do... Actually, you would recognize one of them.
Yes, yes.
You would recognize, and you've never met them, but one of the individuals is Energ Long, or Lond, sorry, or Energ Long, ENEREGLOND, Energ Long, or Lond.
I'm gonna obviously rewrite those names in my notes, just as in case I lose this random slip of paper. And I'm going to note in my brain that I need to memorize them because I'm going to ask Malik about them. So,
Since you didn't give me all the names, if you want to just give them all to me right now, and I'll write them down so you don't have to remember them later for Malik. For me.
Dirinor Ashglade.
fucking shit.
Dirinor
Can you send me a picture?
Glade.
That was already way too many. I'm like 6 letters behind
just
you.
text him in the chat.
Yeah, please, I beg of thee.
Well, let me go ahead and read them off.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
ATL Thenmere and Megli Birdier, Bess Caskbow, Eladoth Elethiel, Sidon Druft, Gregory Glorybluff, Assery Marilyn, Energ Lond, Bali Unfer, Winifred Fartrond, and Galadir Garaitanu.
You said an Elaloth name in there. What did that one?
That's the one she gave you first.
No.
The one you recognized.
No, Ernig Long.
Oh.
She said an Elaloth name, didn't you?
Yeah.
Enereg Lond, and it's Elaloth.
Isn't that the lady we just fucked up? Her shit?
That's her last name.
Ooh,
So,
what's her husband's name?
Okay, so then, was that a last name or a first name technically? Since you said the first name first, since you said Elaloth first.
It's written as first name, last name.
Interesting.
Good catch.
Yeah. I wonder if she took that name from somebody. Did Malik say that was
married,
always
so yeah.
her name? Because her name was Eleanor. But did Malik ever tell me what her original last name was?
I don't think so.
I know he said where she was from, which was northern, but he couldn't
Northeast.
see there.
And Enereg Lond, you recognize as one of the Lords of the East.
Wow. So this is the investigation check we both failed.
Yeah.
I got a 1, you got a 2 or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
We're lucky you didn't slip
No,
out.
that was something different.
Oh, fucking shit.
Okay.
More secrets.
More.
And then also just because I'm curious if they're mixing symbols together, if I notice because you said the symbols weren't exactly the way they should be. I want to maybe see if I can notice if they're mixing certain symbols together, maybe trying to combine things.
Roll an investigation, and then roll an arcana.
Investigation would be tainted 20, and arcana would be an 18.
There is a moment where one of them, and you have to fish, and this is probably on your third and a half day of sifting through all of these things. But you look at one of the sigils and it's just bothering you. And you fish and get the original papers, and whenever you pull it out, you look at it and you partially dismiss it, so almost slamming it down on the table, and you notice the way that it overlays on another sigil, that it has been combined.
So, just curiously, almost like how when you folded the piece of paper over and it, spelled something out, it's almost like they're, overlaying sigils together.
As you overlay it, it matches up with one. You rotate it, and it matches up with another.
Iron Man style?
Yeah, sure.
Iron Man. Flatten out the papers, and it's
yeah. You flatten it out, and you see it aligns. You rotate it, and it aligns with a different sigil. This is the only one that you notice, but and And you try the same trick with the others, and they don't quite match up. This is the only one where you notice. And make another investigation check, but at advantage.
Oh, that's good. That's cocktail.
I rolled 2 17s. That's 23.
There's a small note at the bottom of each. The vast majority of the pages that have had the sigils on them, those circles that look like they were loose leaf, they were bound, being in the process of being bound. At the bottom of this page that you notice this, you see the SPS.
The one that I got to line up?
On the ground.
And what are the two, how many different sigils is it that I get to line up?
It's just 2.
And what 2 are they?
It is a dispel and a counterspell.
Was there any of the sprites that didn't leave besides the one that are helping Nora?
Spice actually stayed.
Oh, that's nice.
Anybody that was captured?
Spice and Talel and Jin obviously are with you guys. The rest are downstairs helping Nora.
Muttering to themselves in a circle.
I should have. Because I feel like Cypress would have been the one to know. Anybody. All strong.
Well, you could ask at a break.
What?
You could ask at a break.
Break
I
what?
mean...
She's not helping you. She's not here. She left.
No, like, we're not...
No, she stayed. Cypress stayed. I forgot, yeah.
You didn't mention her, so I didn't. You said earlier, but we weren't.
Yeah, no. It was a total where she was reluctant to go and she actually stayed.
I'm gonna I'm gonna show her. If I have permission from her, because I don't want to just show her something she doesn't want to see. But the descriptions page, I want to see if she can tell me who those 2 descriptions are, per chance. She might not know them, but like, just who knows what she knows and what she doesn't know. Because I know she was kind of like all the time, but she might recognize somebody.
Okay. You approach her. She's currently in the process. She's perched herself on one of the actual chandeliers.
Oof.
And she's just being quiet. It takes you a while to find her on the evening of this 3rd day. It takes you a while to find her.
Damn.
But she's perched up in one of the chandeliers.
Does she see me? Do I need to just be like, hey, Cypress, I have a favor to ask? Oh, dear.
Looks over the edge. Make a persuasion roll.
Oh my god. Fuck. 10. Is that it? That's 4. 10. Hey, yo.
Aww.
Damn, come on.
So close to a 1.
So close to a 1.
So why couldn't she just roll a 1? She glances down as you're like, I need a favor. She rolls off of the ridge and just lets herself free fall before fluttering by you. The way she folds her arms is very similar to how Talal folds his arms.
So adorable.
Yes?
Not adorable. I have this notebook, and it has several descriptions of and I was wondering if you could maybe, if you knew someone by a certain description.
If you wouldn't mind looking at it.
The book's right here.
You can see her knuckles.
It's right here.
You can see her knuckles whiten.
If you don't want to look at it, I can just read it out to you.
No. I can handle it. Go ahead, show me.
And I will open it.
I will, make sure she doesn't see the rest of it, because I don't want her to, just open it up to the page.
She sees all of the other names, or all of the other descriptions that are surrounding it anyway. And just see her knuckles whiten even more as she flies up and is looking. Which ones?
I'll point out the two with the flowery dark red hazel and the silver gray ones.
She flies down. She points to the one silvery gray. Like, I recognize this. This would have been Flick's.
Can you tell me anything about him?
It's a little bit odd. Good caster, though.
Was he particularly strong?
He was strong in his own right, I suppose.
Were there any?
I knew he had an interesting upbringing, but I mean, we were all a little bit preoccupied at the moment. Didn't really have time to lay out our entire life stories.
Oh, God, I
I just know he had an interesting upbringing.
I only ask because these two particular ones are the only abnormalities in these notes.
Anomalies?
And I'll point out the SPS and the SS, how it like this one column, they're the only ones that are different than the rest. I'm not sure what it means yet, but I just know that these two were the only ones that were different.
Did you find this in that closet? That small back room?
Is that where I found it, DM?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is where I found it.
And she flutters down. Her eyes just lock with this one column. Or this one row.
Oh God, is it her? Is it a description of her?
Oh, it's someone she knows.
Oh no! Do I see which one she's looking at?
You do.
Which one is it? What does it say?
It's second from the bottom. Are you gonna like turn the book from her and look?
No.
Are you reading upside down?
I'm just gonna like take a note of it, maybe read it later, I guess.
She looks at So you're asking for me to identify any of them? What these might mean?
I mean, if there's anything on this page that you recognize or might know anything about that could help me in my research, but I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
Doubt you could do that.
Oof.
She points to a different name. This is Nellie. Sky. Cedar. Oak. Lemony.
Don't know how to spell any of these. Okay.
What was the second name she said? I missed the second one. You said Nellie something, Cedar, Oak, Lemony.
She's just going through and naming each individual she recognizes.
I'm gonna like, oh shit, I need to like be writing their names down next to it, but it's fine. I'm just gonna be like taking notes as she's like pointing into it and hopefully remembering names so that I can put names next to these descriptions. Not just in my head. I don't like descriptions because I need.
I'm just gonna be taking.
She lists off many more names.
Oof.
At all?
If I, let me think. There's these. I just showed her the descriptions, right? That's all I've shown her?
The description and the columns are all on one.
Okay.
All on the same page.
And then she saw the sigils at the top. Did she
Yes.
recognize any of those?
Mm-mm.
Were the ones that I drew from the tools different than those?
Yes.
I'm gonna show her my sketchbook and ask her if she knows any of those as well.
She looks. I only understand some of this arcane business. Better than my brother, but. She looks. No, I don't. No. I don't recognize any of these.
Well, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
You and the other one were some of the ones to aid my brother.
Yes, I guess, sort of. Aided, embedded, several other things.
He's special.
He is special. Special pain is what he is. What condition was he in when you found him?
He wasn't in terrible condition. His wings were a little damaged originally, and he was worn out, but he was getting better before. The orc attacked us and took his wing.
And afterwards, you're the one who also helped. I know Tarragon had probably had a few things involved with this. One of the newest council members likes getting involved in everything.
In a way, I helped as much as I could. It just didn't seem right what they were doing.
Which part? She kind of bristles at this.
They didn't believe us at first. And they originally were just going to take him away and, I assume, kill him for him bringing us to the village. But
Rightfully so, as that is the tradition. You're not supposed to lead outsiders back.
it was a very difficult decision for him to make.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. We were originally just supposed to take him so far till his wing healed. And then he would leave. But it didn't heal in time. And then his wing was taken. And he didn't have any other way of getting there.
And what are your thoughts on his little playmate?
Playmate, oh my god. She calls her playmate. I'm fucking dead. I think Jen's so badass. And fucking Cypher's out here like, playmate. Goddamn. She's so
They do play together.
Oh, She's reminds me of someone maybe I would have been. I wasn't always just a regular person. I lived in a castle once. I had a status at one point. And I feel like given the opportunity, I could have ended up similar to her, following what I assume to be her heart and where she belongs. She feels she belongs.
That's not the point, is it? That's an impulsive thing. That is a feeling thing. She has a status. She has an obligation. She has an entire family line relying on her. Her abilities are also rare, even among our kind.
I don't think that should separate. I don't believe in there being a separation. I feel people should be with who they want to be, and they should be able to be who they want to be.
You realize that destroys all order, right?
There are still those that would uphold it.
And so some are expected to follow the rules and others are just allowed to break them.
Yes, but not really.
Why is she allowed to break various rules, various things, long-held traditions? She's all but spat in tradition's face. My poor brother getting roped into all of this. He had his own ideals, yes, but before, at least it was manageable.
You're saying he's unmanageable now?
He's had more ideas.
He's quite brilliant. I'm not one that can talk much about following their heart, suppose, but I don't believe restricting some and not restricting others is a good way to live. I think some traditions, yes, maybe they should be upheld and maybe they should carry on through generations, but sometimes traditions get old and they get outdated. And sometimes they're not. I think sometimes traditions need to be rethought and maybe really wonder if they are still helping everyone and not just a certain few.
What if they've always been helpful, except for this one particular individual?
Who's to say it's only the one particular individual?
I can almost guarantee that. At least in this particular instance, as far as I'm aware, everyone knew where they were, everyone knew where they were supposed to be. And then here she comes, strutting along, on this relative power trip, roping my brother into all of this. Do you think she's genuine? Do you think that she's actually doing what you say, following her heart?
I do. She's smitten to him. Quite constantly. And he to her, honestly. Yeah. Roped in. But then again, I'm not particularly one in tune with my feelings.
They're overrated at the very least.
I can agree with
That's why you have traditions. If you go about changing a tradition, all of a sudden it's not a tradition. It's a convenient societal agreement that lasts for a few generations. Tradition stands forever. If you can't rely on things that have lasted forever, and there's really no point in ever having them in the first place, is there?
But what if whatever is new works better. You never know until you try.
Unfortunately, there have to be the stupid few who begin it. Whatever it is. If you have no more questions for me, I'm going to go back to sulk. That's all right.
Enjoy. Bro, I kind of fucking like her.
The next day, she's awful.
She's terrible.
Can't stand her. This happens every time.
Bro, I'd like to battle with her, though. She'd probably be badass, bro. I wouldn't know how to battle with her, though, because I'm not a magic user, really. She'd probably just call lightning, kill me,
end up,
be done.
or you just cut her in half on accident. And
No, I
guilty
wouldn't.
after.
Yeah, that would be real
Like,
shit.
oh
I just want you to be large so that I can battle you. You'd be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody make me super small.
no! That is a spell, actually.
That is a small, enlarge and shrink.
Yeah.
Somebody get that spell.
Thank you!